All right, let's jump right in. Today we're looking at something really powerful and, deeply personal. It's a guide for getting to know a person, not just a condition. We're going to see how a guide like this can totally change the game for providing care and making a real connection.
And boom, right there, we meet the person this is all about. He tells us his name is Braun, and he has Prader-Willi syndrome. For those who don't know, that's a rare genetic disorder that affects things like appetite, growth, and behavior. But that simple sentence, man, it just sets the whole tone, doesn't it? We're here to understand Braun.
So where do you even start when you're getting to know someone? Well, this guide does something brilliant. It kicks off with all the things that make Braun, well, Braun. Let's talk about his strengths and the best ways to communicate with him. Now, what I think is so cool here is how the guide is actually put together. Before you read about a single challenge, you see this whole section on his strengths. It's even got this friendly little dinosaur icon. That positive framing is so important. It immediately builds a foundation of respect.
And this just paints such a clear picture of the person, right? Not the syndrome. He's super curious, has a ton of energy, and loves to play and just be silly. He does really well with routines and actually wants to help out if you're encouraging. These aren't just bullet points. They're like little windows into who he is and how to build a great relationship with him.
And that person-first approach leads right into how to communicate. The guide lays it out so clearly. On one side, you've got the challenge. Maybe he has trouble pronouncing some words. And right next to it, here's how you can help. Just be patient. Give him a little extra time. Use pictures. It's super practical, actionable advice for anybody who's going to interact with him.
All right, next up, we're going to explore the link between Braun's environment and his feeling of security. This part's all about understanding his behavior and why routine is just so crucial in his world.
So, this is huge. Understanding what can lead to frustration. For Braun, it could be something that seems small to us, like a toy being taken away, or feeling rushed, or a surprise change in his schedule. Knowing these triggers isn't about, bubble wrapping his life. It's about being ready to support him when things get tough.
And here is the actual game plan for creating that security. It's a proactive approach. You start by setting clear expectations and keeping his schedule predictable. That's what helps him feel safe. Then, if a challenging behavior comes up, the go-to move is gentle redirection, not punishment. And it all circles back to positive reinforcement, which the guide says works best. It's a whole system built on support.
Okay, we're shifting gears a bit to some really vital health and safety info. These are the kinds of things you might not notice just by looking, but they are absolutely critical for keeping him safe and well.
And this brings us to a really important question. With a condition like Prader-Willi, some of the biggest dangers are the ones you can't even see. So, what are they?
And this is a huge one, a very high pain tolerance. What that means is he might be seriously hurt or sick and not show it in the usual ways. No crying, no complaining, nothing. This means his caregivers have to basically become detectives, always looking for other clues.
So this is where those detective clues come in. A small change in his behavior might be the only signal that something's wrong. He's also at risk for his body not being able to regulate its own temperature, which means he can get overheated fast. So keeping him cool and hydrated isn't just a nice thing to do, it's essential. Same with basic hygiene. He needs reminders and support, like with using the toilet and washing his hands.
Okay, now we're at what the guide presents as the single biggest, most important rule for Braun's care. There's a reason this gets its own entire section.
Look at the guide again. This last section, with its own unique icon, is all about food. Its placement here at the end is like the grand finale. This is the one thing you absolutely cannot forget. And the rule itself is stated so clearly, there's just no way to misinterpret it. He absolutely cannot have juice or anything that tastes sweet. It's not a suggestion. It's an absolute, direct instruction that's vital for his safety. And here is the critical why behind that rule. A major part of Prader-Willi syndrome is something called hyperphagia. It's a constant, relentless feeling of hunger that his body just can't switch off. That's why all his food is provided for him as part of a strict medical diet. This isn't about being mean. It's about managing a serious medical symptom. So when you step back and look at this whole guide, you see more than just a list of rules. You see a portrait of a person. It's such a simple but profound tool for empathy and real support. And it leaves you with this thought.
A guide like this shows just how powerful personalized care can be. What would our world look like if we tried to understand everyone in our lives with this much intention and clarity?